Oh, I gotta get you up there. Oh, there you are. This was the worst start we've ever had to a show, but we're sticking with it. There
Is
you
that the
are.
start? We're starting?
We are going EDL, DZ. The screens are ready to go. We're ready to rock. It's another wonderful Thursday. Not as good as the past Thursdays because we got to see the Colts play past Thursdays, but we get a good Kyler Murray, maybe one of the most fun EDL fantasy dynasty quarterbacks to own. But y'all get to watch him today. Thursday. How's DZ? How's DZ life?
Busy morning, but I'm happy to be on the show and doing this right now.
Right. Let's. I got a couple things that we're gonna touch on before we cycle into our normal programming. But let's just jump through the league and see if anything happens to jump off the page. I did do a little bit of work this week. Got some contracts in. If you've posted contracts on the site, they are in. Any kind of ebook stuff is done. A little bit of contract details, this and that. I'll probably do some more tidying up this weekend. Confidence pool picks, get those in. Survivor, still. Are you in still or are you out?
I'm in.
Oh, you're
I'm in,
still
baby.
in.
Yeah.
We're just down to 4 here on the second round of Survivor. That's good. I haven't really looked at anything from this past week as far as records, but maybe something will pop out as we go. But DZ, before we get going into last week's recap, I got 2 little topics I want to cover. And I'll have you pick. I'll have you pick which one I go with. First of which is good starts, just a few notable good starts for some of these franchise owners in the leagues with some notes attached to them. And the second one is trading, a little bit of trading history on the league. I know trades have been a big topic over the chats. It's always fun. But I'm gonna talk about both. Which one should I start with?
I think we saved trading for the last because it's the juiciest, spiciest
All
topic
right.
in the league right now.
So I have a few teams I wanted to shout out, talk about, but we're just going to talk about good starts to this season. We are 6 weeks in, and last year we didn't have a doubleheader, but we did bring it back this year. But first, notably, my team. I'm 4-3, DZ. You may not think it's impressive, but it's my best start since 2019 when I started out 7-0, but a couple years under 500. I think I'm back. Even though we're just barely over 500 here. Chris Jerome, weekend at Gurley's, 5-2, DZ. Best start in franchise history for the EDL for Chris Jerome. So 5-2, pretty strong.
Hey, real quick, Nate. Who owned that team before him? Was it Jacob Ball? Was that the Jacob Ball?
No, that was Cam.
Oh, that was Cam.
Yeah, that was Cam's
So
team.
Cam never, and that was Henderson before Cam, right?
I believe so. I think Jacob Ball's team original was
That's
up here.
Nats or whatever.
Yeah,
Something like
somewhere
that.
in there.
Okay.
So good job, Jerome. Next team, we're staying in the same division. I mean, this is a pretty strong division. Robbie, 5-2, my guy. Best start since 2014. It's been a long time, Robbie, since you've been in these waters. Good work. Only second time over 500 since 2014. Next one, Pete, 7-0. Only time in his EDL career has he been undefeated through 6 weeks. Pretty surprising for how strong Pete's team has been. Only time ever, and it's right now. And then Bird, my last one, Birdman is 6-1 to start this year. Last year he was 5-1. I give a lot of crap to Bird, but 2 really good starts in back-to-back years. That's what I got. That's the few owners we're gonna shout out. Get a little bit of back news, and we'll get. Should we get into the trade stuff? Just yeah.
Well, hold on. Did you make a mistake?
No.
I didn't hear you say anything about the snakes in there at all. Am I not off to a good start?
There were.
What?
I could have gone some other directions with the how we've started, but we just decided to stay positive with a few of the owners there. But no, nothing for the snakes. I do have some snakes topics in the trade. Now, the angle I'm going to go with this, with my trade talks, is One of the things we do in the chat that we love to give little jabs to each other is how much we don't trade or don't respond to trades, or how there's some owners that just, whatever it is, what are you doing? Very minimal. And then we do have the owners that trade a lot. So I went back and did a little history, DZ. Back to the beginning of 2020, so about 2.5 seasons, okay, of trading. Now, this is just in-season trading. Off-season, I didn't look at because there's a lot of stuff to decipher. So in-season trading, September to December teams. Okay, let me get your guess. So we have one team in the league that only has one trade in the past 2.5 seasons. This is our lowest one. Everyone's at least made one trade, but there's been one team that's only made one in the past 2.5 years, DZ. Who is the hardest person to trade with in the EDL in season?
It's got to be Rupp, right? Was it did he trade a kicker, Seward, like to start the year? I feel like that was it right there.
Pretty solid guess, but the toughest guy to trade with is Chris Seward. And his only in-season trade was this year to you, Hayden Hurst, just after the cut deadline, maybe week 1. Just a little small bullshit trade. We've seen Seward make some big draft day trades almost, I'd say every other year. But in-season, Seward only has one. He is tough to get a hold of, tough to make trades with. We have one other owner who is second, who only has 2 trades, in-season trades, in the past 2.5 years. That's Rupp, DZ. That was your guess. The last trade he's made in season was December 11th of 2020. It's been a couple years.
Man.
Might have been pre-pandemic. I don't know. Take the mask off of those trades, Rupp. You can let those fly.
I bet I could guess that trade.
What?
Is that? It was Drew Brees traded to Edwards for a first. Fuck my life. I mean, that's what you got to give Rupp to get a fucking old, decrepit fucking quarterback. Whatever's.
All right, we have 3 other owners who are tied with only 3 trades in the past 2.5 years. That's myself, Casey, and Edwards. Only 3 trades, and I was pretty surprised that I was in that because I feel like I trade a ton. So that's 5, about half the league with 3 trades or less. That is tough to get guys off their roster in season. Moving on to the next block, we have Jerome at 5. And I think 3 of those have come in the past week. Zoe at 6, been pretty active since he's been in the league. Bird's got 7. Let me see who we got next. And we got Robbie at 11. Matt at 13, and that leaves 2 owners left, Easy, that I haven't named. Yourself and Pete. Who has more trades between you two in the past 2.5 years? In season.
The obvious answer I feel like is Pete, but I'm gonna say me because I make a lot of dumb bullshit, little dinky little trades that don't mean nothing.
In research, I do confirm you make a lot of dinky bullshit nothing trades. Trick question. You and Pete are tied with 20. Each of you guys have 20 trades in the past 2.5 years in season. You guys pretty much together probably have more than the EDL combined. But if you want to yeah, pretty much. But if people want to make a move, You and DZ with 20. We got Matt 13 trades, Robbie 11, Bird 7. Some owners do like to wheel and deal in the season. Some don't. It's all in good fun. But I thought I'd bring that up. That's been a little bit of a topic. And yeah, that's all I got. Should we move forward to recaps unless you got any other notes?
Yeah, that was just real quick. That was some interesting stuff, Nate. Thanks for bringing that to the show today.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, let's go on to weekly results. Week number 6. Who was our game of the week last week?
I never know. It's normally Pete.
Oh man, was it? I feel like it was Matt and Bird.
Yeah, that
I
seems
don't
right.
remember. I don't remember. Let's just go straight down the list. We got Robbie again. Robbie getting a victory over Seward. The Seward slide. It's kind of like the Casper slide, but it's the Seward slide. Keeps on going. 215 to 195. Good victory for Robbie. 5-2. Let's hear it for him. What's his pay dirt?
All right, this is where like my research comes into play, Nate, that I did all morning. I got Brees Hall here, and must be nice for Robbie. First overall pick, started to really kill it in the league. 24.1, 20 carries, 116 yards and a touchdown. And what got me kind of like turning the wheels a little bit was he started only one running back, Nate Dogg, and got the win. So I had to know, like, how many times has this happened? And I spent the better part of my morning figuring that out for you guys. I went all the way back. I went all the way back, Nate. 2012. I thought this was gonna be a little bit quicker than it was. Oh God, it was grueling. I got some numbers here for you, Nate. Like 141 times a team has decided to start one running back. We need guesses on how many wins they got.
You said 141.
141 times since 2012.
Shoot, well, 10% would be 14. Let's do 12.
Dang, wow, you undershot it big time. It's 50 wins, a
50.
35.4% winning percentage. And actually, I was looking at Edwards last couple of years. Ooh, he's had some bad beats using this strategy. He's put up over 200 a few times, more than a handful of times, and just taking the L. And I just thought that was interesting. So I wanted to see how many people could actually pull off the win using starting one running back. Only 35% of the time, Robbie did it this week.
Impressive, Robbie. Who is his Joe Dirt?
Joe Dirt. Hey, let's go with this other top pick was Drake London. Only 7 points in this one, Nate. Three straight single-digit games after three straight double-digit games start the season. Kind of telling off. Brees Hall coming up helps with that, but Drake London falling off kind of hurts.
Definitely. Let's move on to Seward's squad and talk about his pay dirt.
Finally, Alvin Kamara doing some work for him here. 22.2 back-to-back 20-point games for Kamara. It's a good sign for Seward's team that's really just been falling off. Even though it's like if you look at his team on paper, it looks like a really good team. They're just not performing up to standards.
All right, and his Joe Dirt?
This guy's been really good for him, but Jeff Wilson let him down in this one. 1.987 carries, 25 yards. Had also lost a fumble in this one. Really weak matchup, I feel like, the Atlanta Falcons. But that was a really bad game for Jeff Wilson.
Good win, Robbie. 5-2. Squad's looking great. Moving on to your team against Casey. Casey talking a lot of shit in the chat, and then back-to-back L's here. Been quiet, but let's look at your team and who is your pay dirt.
You know, it could have been easily back-to-back Ramondre Stevenson weeks. I really love what he's doing for me right now. I wish Damian Harris would just go away, honestly. But I'm going to go with George Kittle. For my team, like, even though I traded away Dalvin Cook, I really think I could still be productive and win some games. But I need George Kittle. And I got it finally, Nate. 8 catches, 83 yards, 23.3 points. And one thing that I don't know what the fuck's going on with stats and all that shit, but this guy, he forced a fumble. And I got credit for it. So I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
So he nearly matched his production in this one game than his prior 3 games. So I really like that. I hope that continues. I need him to perform if I don't want to just gift Edwards a top 4 pick of the draft.
Yeah, definitely. And your Joe Dirt.
This one's killing me, bro. Like Jerry Jeudy, that whole Denver team's a mess, but Jerry Jeudy, you gotta get it going. Only 8.4, Nate, in this one, 3 catches, 54 yards. The number 42 wide receiver, bro. It's starting to hurt.
And let's look at Casey's team on his pay dirt.
I rarely do this with quarterbacks, but man, like I'm kind of been like a Joe Burrow. I don't want to say like a doubter, but like I felt like he was a little bit too hyped, especially from a fantasy aspect. Not in this one, Nate. 39.3, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air. He even got in. He ran one in for them as well. Number 5 quarterback in the league after this performance, averaging nearly 26 points per game.
I like it. And his Joe Dirt.
Remember last week I was hyping up Tyler Lockett a little bit. He was pay dirt last week, talking about his pace and stuff. Well, his pace took a little bit of a hit this one, 3.7 points, 2 catches, only 17 yards, Nate Dogg. First game since opening night that he hasn't got over double digits in points.
Yeah, tough game for Tyler Lockett. What we need to do is research is, I know we've either talked about or done it before, or logged like how many pay dirts and Joe Dirts each team had. But we should have done that as we go.
Well, I got this saved, so maybe at the end of the year we'll do a little pay dirt Joe Dirt special.
All-star game? All right, let's move on
Yes.
to our next one. We got Jerome against Rupp, and I feel like we probably both picked Rupp. I can't even remember, but good win here for Jerome, 226, 203. Down week for Rupp, but let's start with Jerome and his pay dirt.
I mean, hey, this is a stud. This is the guy that needs to perform, and he hasn't been. Finally got it going in this one. 32.2 from Jamar Chase, 7 catches, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I don't know if you saw any of the highlights, but he had a catch, probably like a 15, like a comeback route, and just shook a couple guys and just took off, man. It looked like the Jamar Chase that we know and love.
I was this close in the chat to throwing in some nonsense about like, oh, Jamar Chase really that guy? And then he had an awesome second half. And give me his Joe Dirt.
Man, I'm a little bit bitter about this guy because I have him in a redraft league and he didn't fucking get it done, which was so easy to get done. Justin Herbert, man, 8.3 points, 238 yards and an interception. I know he cost you in one of your parlays you did because he threw a pick in this one. Nate, his first single-digit game since Week 13 of 2020. Man, that's depressing to see.
Damn, first single digit since when? 2020?
Yeah, so like over a season ago, more than almost 2 seasons, a season and a half or whatever.
Pretty crazy. Move on to Rupp's team and let's talk about his pay dirt.
It's funny, man. Rupp's been kind of eating shit at this position all year, but Marcus Mariota getting it done with this one, kinda. We'll get to that. 29.2 points in this one, Nate Dogg. 129 yards passing, 50 on the ground, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing, and he's got back-to-back 20-point games despite throwing for less than 150 in both tilts.
That's pretty wild. And let me hear his Joe Dirt.
This one kind of hurts. I was really high on this guy going into the season. I looked smart at first. Now I look stupid again. It's real fun. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5.1, man. 9 carries for 33 yards. Back-to-back single-digit games for him, Nate Dogg. He's dropped from number 5 running back after week 4 all the way to running back 13.
We cursed him when we put buy rest away and we're like, yep. And now, we beat the curse. Good win for Jerome over Rupp. Always tough to come by, and you got it done. Move on to our next game. We got myself versus Zoe. I was a little beat up, but I had enough big scores here that we got it done. Start with my squad on the pay dirt.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk here. 28.3, 8 catches, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns in a game that the Niners kind of got fucking smacked around a little bit by the Falcons. And first game for Ayuk over 13 this season. I'm sure you're hoping for more of that to come for the rest of the regular season.
His snap count's been awesome all year. Targets have been relatively whatever, I guess. But yeah, it was nice. Good game for Ayuk. Give me my Joe Dirt.
It's about a guy who's really been kind of doing really well for you, but did not show up on Thursday Night Football. Curtis Samuel. 2.6, only 2 catches, 6 yards. The reason why I brought him up in this one is he dropped like a fucking, I think for sure touchdown in that game. It would have been a long one, and I think he had a couple other drops. Did not do well in that game. and now Carson Wentz is out for who knows. So hopefully, maybe he can keep it going with Heineke or whatever.
Heineke, I
I
think.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, tough game for him. And let's look at Zoe's team and Pay Dirt. Is there any out there?
Yes, we actually have one that I feel like is legit because uh, this guy lacks talent, and one of his talent got shot, and now he came back already week 6. He was back last week, only 26% of the snaps. Last week, this week, Nate, 47% of the snaps, while Gibson only got 26% of the snaps. 15.4 in this game, 17 carries, 60 yards. Not sexy, but he did get in the end zone. And, Zone needs, all those first round picks is nice, but you need some guys that's kind of clicking right now to get that team rolling for next year.
Yeah, I like Brian Robinson, Etienne, two solid players there in the running back stable to start out next year. And, we got to do is Joe Dirt.
Oh, yeah, this one's pretty easy. Robbie Anderson, 0 points, got kicked out of the game. Then he got traded. So it might be a win. It might be the first time in the world that your guy gets kicked out and you win.
Yeah, I would rather have Robbie Anderson on the Cardinals, 110%. Moving on to our next game, we got a great win by Bird, 252.6 over Matt, 221. Both putting up solid days. Efficiency ratings through the roof, 95% and 93%. Let's start with Bird's team and his pay dirt.
I just thought of this right here. Just by I got Kenneth Walker as Bird's pay dirt. 23.2, 21 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Made 29 carries, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. And now this gets interesting. We're talking about trades. Well, this was a topic in the chat. And Matt traded Kenneth Walker to Bird. I wonder if this game would have been a little bit different if that trade didn't go down.
Interesting thought. I like it. I didn't think of that either. Give me Bird's Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton, been very consistent all season, and we've already talked about that Bronco offense just being fucking god-awful, but he's been kind of a ray of sunshine and that shitty offense, but only 2 catches, 14 yards, Nate. Not going to get it done for Bird. 3.4. Hopefully there's better weeks ahead for him, for Bird.
I'm with you. Let's move on to Matt's team and his pay dirt.
It's funny we brought this guy up. Every week since we talked about him, you're like, "Oh, is Eckler done? Eckler done? Eckler done?" And since we talked about him, absolutely lighting the fucking league on fire. 27.1 in this one. Not a lot of production on the ground, but 10 catches out of the backfield, 47 yards, and he did get it onto the ground. And he is now your number 1 running back in EDL.
Really, out of nowhere. Well, shit. Look at these past 3 weeks. Crazy. The touchdowns. 6 touchdowns in the past 3 weeks. Awesome. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, this guy is like the quintessential like boom or bust player. Mike Williams. Only 3.7 in this day, 2 catches for 7 yards. He has 3 games this year, Nate, over 19 points, and then he has 3 games under 10 points.
Pretty, yeah. I'm looking at his yearly thing right here. Definitely boomer bust. And who did the other side? Who was that? Yeah, I guess we hit both. Good victory for Bird here. This might have been our game of the week. I can't remember. I think it was. Looking at all the ones, I think that's what we did game of the week. Good stuff there. Moving on to our last one. Yep, we got Pete. This one turned out to be...
Yeah, this is the game of the week.
This one turned out to be the upset of the 16 over the 1. The Appalachian State over fucking whoever. Michigan. Let's look at Pete's squad, who did get the narrow victory by 0.6. 223.3 to 222.7. Wild. Give me Pete's pay dirt.
This was obvious to me. Like, there's a lot of guys always performing on his team, but I'm going with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, like, A little bit of luck here, but Pete picked the right guy. We were both sitting there needing a safety or DB or whatever on Saturday night, and he picked the right guy. 19.3, 2 interceptions. One coming after he left to go to the locker room and get his hand heavily taped after being injured. What a fucking huge game. Clutch game for Pete, man. I'm sure he's got a small spot at Pete's heart from now on.
Yeah, definitely keeping the undefeated start intact. And give me his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Mike Boone, man. And really Nathaniel Hackett, bro. Like, why are all your fucking offensive players on the Joe Dirt side? Jesus Christ, man. I hear like 3 or 4 of them, Nate, dog.
That's
1.6, Nate. 1.6 in this one. 1 carry, 1 yard, 1 catch, 3 yards. Probably didn't play a lot. I didn't care to look up his snap count. Fuck Nathaniel Hackett. He played on Thursday Night Football against your team prior game. 10 touches, 80 yards. What the fuck did he do wrong? I mean, that seems good to me. You just didn't get the touches this one. Whatever.
Let's go on to Edwards' team, who almost got the sneaky victory. And give me his pay dirt.
Yeah, man. Man, he did have some guys go out. But, like, hey, Mike Gesicki, man, all the quarterback issues going on in Miami, Gesicki getting it done, 27.9, 6 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. When you look at his production the whole year, I'm trying to figure out why Edwards is starting this guy. Like, we got 1.6, 2.1, 5.3, 4.5. He did have a 16.1 in week 2, but that was a long time ago. And the quarterback shit ain't getting any better there. Hey, but good job. 27.9 from Mike Gesicki.
You ever see him when he scores, he gritties? You ever see him do the gritty?
I saw he did the gritty like the longest gritty ever. Like he went fucking from the middle of the end zone like all the way down his sideline and shit, dude. Pretty impressive.
It's funny. He looks like Bella.
Yeah.
That only makes sense to like 4 of us. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Wow. Edwards has started this guy twice this year. And he's gotten him a half point total. And it was in this one. So, I mean, what else? But DJ Dallas, 0.5 points, Nate. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not big on starting, like putt protectors and shit like that. But, like, maybe Edwards got some cool strategy I've never heard of. Because it's, might want to get him the fuck out of that line. You might want to get him off the roster.
And he traded for, did that? I can't remember when that Trevor Lawrence trade went through. Wasn't there some?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. He was getting breakfast burritos or some shit when the trade went through. Like, so he couldn't get away from his Pico de Gallo to go throw the better quarterback in, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I love Pico de Gallo. But, yeah, Trevor Lawrence on the bench.
Tough.
Second time this year.
Tough. Pete with another win. And guess what? If you're going to go undefeated, they're not all going to be. You're going to have some luck go your way.
Yes, sir.
This one was a little bit of luck for Pete, getting it by. Good win there. And then let's preview our week coming up.
Oh, shit. I always forget about this part.
Previews? I feel like there's a better way than previews, but that's what I'm doing. Game of the week. I snuck myself in there, but let's move to the next one. Straight Cash Homie versus Seward. Seward's roster is not set. Set your rosters. Neither is Casey. Hey, we're in a grab bag here. Casey is 4-3. Seward 1-6. I guess no Sanders, no Bray. Who's he missing? Cousins. He's still got Carr. Oakland's not on bye this week, are they?
No, but Waller is out, I believe. If that's who you're talking about.
No, I was thinking Carr. No, I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna go Casey here, but I'm still waiting on Seward to get a bounce back win. To be honest with you, it's got to be coming. It's like a suited that hasn't hit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember his last one. It was week 2 against me. But I mean, seriously, the guy dropped like 250 and then puts 180 up the rest of the year. Like, fuck me, man. I could have been on your hot start fucking segment. But Man, this is tough, bro. What else? I'll go straight cash, but like he's getting a lot of O's and zeros and shit just because his guys are like game time and whatever.
We got next game. We got Rupp and Zoe. I feel like that one was Rupp. I can't wait for the Zoe Edwards matchup. That's gonna be a doozy. Our next one is Matt and Pete here. Matt's got a solid squad. No, we do. Who? No Eagles this week. No Jalen Hurts. I think you need Hurts to beat Pete.
Ouch, dude! What a fucking that's bad luck.
I'm gonna go Pete here.
Yeah, of course.
Next one, you got yourself and Robbie, man. Can you knock Robbie off his high horse?
That's easy money. No, I can't. He's gonna be.
Robbie's been hot. I think this is gonna be a close game. 204 to 190. I probably side with Robbie. His team looks pretty solid. Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't mind seeing you getting a win there. We got Edwards and Bird. Bird's team's looking good. Got to go Bird there. And then game of the week, we got myself and Jerome. This is a huge game for me. Huge game for Jerome. Honestly, as far as the standings go in our division, I could tie it up here. Essentially, then we got to wait what Robbie's doing. But if Jerome gets the win here against me, he's swept me on the season. And moving to 6-2, he's in really good shape. What do you think of these?
Is Darius Slayton still a thing? I didn't even know that. I didn't know that guy was still around. But see, Jerome, I don't. He hasn't really decided. He's like a teenage kid, like deciding on what sex they want to be. Like Jerome just doesn't know what he wants to do. Does he want to win? Does he want to lose? I don't know. Like it's just I don't know how to pick this. I'm going with you because you've been really hot, putting up 250 every week.
I'm digging. I still got to put Adams in and maybe another guy or two. I'm gonna go myself as well. DZ, good shit. I feel like we killed it this week. I give it 10 out of 10.
Hey, real quick, can we just to see who's kind of listening to the show? Can I get for my little research on the zero running back strategy? Can I get like a snake emoji in the chat? You know, after you listen to the video, hey. And if this video gets to 8 likes, Nate, I'll throw the year by year breakdown on the zero running back strategy.
That's some incentive if you ever ask me.
Yes.
Snake emojis in the chat.
Yeah. Make sure you like the video, fellas.
All right. Good shit. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week. EDL, realest ever. Peace out.